Welcome to the Voice of Oneness, your call to awaken. This show is your call to awaken to the truth of your being through the teachings of the Voice of Oneness, spoken by Amara. On this show, you will receive spiritual guidance and the teachings of oneness from the heart of spirit directly to your heart, along with the tools and techniques to apply these teachings to your day-to-day life. Tuning in each week, you will grow in a deeper, richer understanding of your true nature as teachings are offered about universal spiritual laws that govern our lives. You will learn the right use and application of these laws to achieve the richest life from the perspective of experiencing abundance in all areas of your life. Amara Bonet is a renowned psychic, spiritual teacher, coach, energy healer, mystic, and gifted visionary who taps into the higher realms to join with the vast collective of source energy. Now, your host of Voice of Oneness, Amara Bonet.
Hi, friends. Welcome. Welcome to the Voice of Oneness, your call to awaken podcast here on WLTK Talk Radio. Tonight's theme is Learn to Let Go. In this episode, we offer guidance to help you navigate the challenging times that we're in and the challenge of letting go. Whether you're struggling to release past traumas, unhealthy relationships, self-limiting beliefs, constant need for perfection, we are here for you to support you and guide you, to assist you in letting go and unlocking your true potential. Learning go is not easy, especially when you're unsure of how to do it and of how to let go. How many times have we all heard the phrase, let it go, just let it go? And we're frustrated when we attempt to let it go and it doesn't go anywhere. It stays with us. It sticks to us. We're not able to move and freely. It requires practice. It requires practice, like anything that we do and we do well. Practice is a requirement. So the same goes for letting go. It requires understanding of a process and then application of the process in a practice of letting go. And that's what we're going to talk about here tonight. As always, we invite you to ask questions during the live broadcast. Use the comments section, which I need to turn on. Okay. Or if you're listening to the replay, submit your questions or comments to me, Amora, at Amora, AUMARA, at AUMARABONNET.com. And I personally will respond to you and your questions. If you'd like to know more about me or about the services offered at the Voice of Oneness, visit voiceofoneness.com. It's on the screen right below my name. That is the website, and it has all the information on there for you. As always, I like to begin the session with quotes. I was going to say a quote, but I know that I have more than one here tonight. So I select the quotes. I'm having trouble speaking today. Sorry. I select the quotes based on what I feel is in resonance with the theme of which we're discussing. So the first quote, if you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you will have complete peace. This quote is by the Taoist master Achan Cha. Another quote taken from A Still Forest Pool, the Insight Meditation by Taoist master Achan Cha. Hold on to nothing. It is as though you were walking down a road. Periodically, you will run into obstacles. When you meet defilements, just see them and overcome them by letting go. Don't think about the obstacles you've already passed. Don't worry about those you have not yet seen. Stick to the present. Don't be concerned about the length of the road or the destination. Everything is changing. Whatever you pass, don't cling to it. Eventually, the mind will reach its natural balance, where practice is automatic. All things come and go of themselves. That's in the natural rhythm of life, and we're going to talk about that tonight. All things come and go of themselves. So we want to take a moment and just breathe that statement in. All things come and go of themselves. Another quote from Catherine Ponder: if you want greater good in your life, what are you letting go of or getting rid of to make room for it? To make room for it. So stating that we are called to let go and not hold on to things, no matter what those things are, whether they're people, whether it's a memory, whatever it may be. Not to hold tightly onto, but be willing to let go when the time comes to let go. And that's important. The time comes, the readiness, being ready to enter into the process of letting go. Not forcing the act of letting go because we may think it's the right thing to do, because others may be advising us to let go. But if we're not at the point where we're willing to step into the process of letting go, then it's forcing something to move. And in doing that, it is only going to come back. It's not a true letting go. So we want to make sure that we check in with ourselves after we listen to the advice of others, and we ask ourselves, am I ready to let? And you know what's troubling you. You know what's going on in your mind. You know what's in your heart. And you ask, am I willing to let go? Is it time? Am I ready? If we have, let's say, lost a loved one or a friend, and we are struggling with the loss, someone may advise us that we need to enter into the process of letting go. But if we're not yet ready to approach that process, it's only going to increase the frustration and the anger that we may be holding inside. We want to check in with ourselves and ask, are we ready? Do I want to start this process? Do I want to start this ball rolling in this direction? And do the steps necessary to let this go from my mind, from my body, from my reality. And if that answer is yes, then you can enter into the practice of which we're going to discuss. We're going to give many different ways to approach it. But always check in with yourself first. To begin, we have from the Voice of Oneness, the Voice of Oneness teachings. Originally, this was written in what was called a daily whisper. It begins with letting go is the joining with, coming home to, the realigning with love. This is truly what letting go is all about. Letting go, realigning with love. It doesn't mean to let go of all thought and just exist in blankness. It doesn't mean I let go, therefore I'm not doing anything. I'm just letting whatever happen, happen, and I'm not participating. That's not what it means. It means to release the hold on your thoughts and to allow your energy, your true power, to merge fully back into the flow of oneness. This is done by the focusing of your will and your intention. I intend to let go. I intend to enter into the process willingly, for I have readiness. Thus, the result is true co-creation, moving from a state of separateness to wholeness, oneness, fearlessness to truth. Let go of that which you believe you need to experience. Let go of the need to control. Let go of what you believe must be done and what you believe you must create. Step fully into the potential expression of what is, allowing new energy to come forth, allowing the free flow of energy without predetermined outcomes. Predetermined outcomes. When we hold on to that which we are insisting upon coming about, we're projecting an outcome. We are controlling. We are not in the flow of life. We are not allowing. We are not letting go. We are controlling. So our experience is going to be the energy of control. Allow for the free flow of energy without predetermined outcomes. Allow it to flow in accordance with its frequency of love. Absent is fear, and only beauty is present. The beauty of truth. This is the way to approach all things, events, people, nature, all in all, the same way, no differences. Everyone must reach a place within themselves where they acknowledge that there must be more to life than their current understanding, and that their beliefs had led them to this place. It may also be necessary to let go of some beliefs to move into a greater knowing. If I want to expand my consciousness and I hold firmly and tightly onto what I have received up to a point, what my understanding is, what I believe to be so, and I am so attached to my beliefs, I am not open to go beyond that. I stay right in that position, and my consciousness does not have the opportunity to expand beyond. I must be in a position to let go of what I think I know to experience more. This is always the way, and so many of us get caught up in, but it's this way, and I know it's this way, and this is the way it is, and I've experienced it this way. I've received the teachings from teachers, and this is what they taught, and I believe in them and resonate with them. And that's great. That's wonderful. It got you to a place where you are in the moment. But then you breathe in and you ask yourself, am I ready to go beyond? And if I'm ready to go beyond, then I open to more. I open to expand this knowledge. When we are being schooled and we're young, we start off in learning the basic concepts of any subject before we move on to the advanced teachings of the subject. And then we can always move on to more and more. But we start with a basic foundation. If we were to stay in the foundational teachings and say, this is it, I know it all, then that's all we'll know. And that's where we'll stay. And we will know all of the fundamental teachings, but we will not be able to go beyond and expand our consciousness. So it's learning to let go, to open up to more. I want more. I want greater experiences in my life. I want to experience from different perspectives. I want to grow. In order to grow, we must be open to receive and open to give. That's important for us to realize. Holding on to the energy of what one believes is theirs to direct is like trying to direct a stream's effortless movement as it continuously flows downstream. But to try and stop the flow and redirect the stream to flow upstream is against its natural flow. It's already flowing perfectly downstream. All that's within that stream is going to keep on moving forward. It's its natural order. The stream has direction and purpose and will always effortlessly meet that direction and purpose in every moment. Free to be. We have direction and purpose. We are the stream. We are ever moving forward. We dam up the stream when we try to control the flow and move it against its nature. It's true of all life. In an effortless, continuous flow of energetic expression from the divine mind, the God mind, knowing all of creation. As individuals in life, believing in a sense of a separate self, we set aside from the natural flow of life as we each seek to control what we believe is ours to control. Our perceived fate or the discovery of a destiny of which we desire to experience, which may not be in alignment with the divine plan. All are divine expressions of God mind, thus created to experience life. God in all things. God is life. You are one with God. You are an expression of life, a stream created to flow naturally in the direction of love. Flowing naturally, expanding in the direction of love. Love is key. Love is key. Love is key to all of our experience. And when we want to enter the practice of letting go, love is key. When you are in the direction of love or aligned with love, and this is not a personal love, a romantic love, this is a universal love. Love, the flow, is a natural expression resulting in freedom, peace, love, joy, harmony, divine existence. The flow of love simply is love. Nothing outside of love. It's love. When we step out of the flow, now we're experiencing outside of that field of love. Now we get to experience discordant energy because we have gone outside of, placed our attention on that which is outside of the field of love. Doesn't mean that we're not in it. Our attention is outside of it. And what we tend to, we bring into our experience. That creates our reality. All outside of the field of love is discordant with life, being that you are an expression of life. We're an expression of life. When you choose to live outside of the expression of love, you will always only experience discordant energy. So we say, okay, outside of the field of love, we have fear. Fear exists outside of love. When we are in a state of fear, we are not relaxed, we are not comfortable, we are anxious, we are confused, we are frightened, we're indecisive, we're not feeling safe and secure. It's because we're outside of the field. Now, all those feelings that I just spoke of exist outside of love. Within love is only love. So when we get to the point we talk about letting go, we let go of the attention that we're placing on fear by pivoting our perspective, our attention, and moving into the field of love by choosing love, by choosing to experience in the field of love, by opening up to love and allowing it to flow. Say open up to, it's another phrase like letting go. Okay, open up to love. Well, open up to love to someone who's not experiencing love would say, how do I do that? Where do I find it? How do I get it? And it's to know that love is always ever present inside. It's like having a hose, and then we have the spigot. We turn the spigot on, the water runs through, but if we crimp the hose and then we have the end of the hose, there's no water coming out because the flow has been crimped. We stop the flow. This is what happens with the love that is inside us, within us. We can not pay attention to this. We can put our attention on fear. We can get caught up in all sorts of distractions and not pay attention to the love. So it's crimped. It's not that it's not present, it is. All we need to do is remove the obstacle, remove what is causing it to be crimped. And then we have the free flow of love. So whatever it is that we're holding on to is creating the disturbance. And as we make the choice to let go, to open, now we're releasing the pressure, we're releasing the crimp, and we're beginning to allow the flow to come through. And that's what each of us must do. When we choose to live outside of the expression of love, we will always and only experience that discordant energy, leaving you to experience lack of ease, confusion, harmful thoughts, words, deeds, actions, and a sense of a void within ourselves. There's a void. There's something missing. It doesn't feel whole. It's something that's an emptiness inside. Emptiness inside is an indicator that we are paying attention to all that is outside, all that we see, all that we perceive, what we think we know. And it's an indicator to us to say, whoa, I'm feeling a sense inside of a void. Let me pay attention to what's inside. Let me cultivate this energy that is within me, the presence that is always with me. Open up to it. In emptiness, experienced as suffering and pain in a myriad of forms, all necessary to create the condition ripe for reconciliation, a return to love. So it's a return to love. Return to love. Another way to say it is return to the field of love, to return to the flow of life, but a return to love, a reconciliation, letting go, coming to recognize, oh my gosh, I'm creating this situation by holding tightly onto something. And thus, this energy is building, and it's discordant, and it's causing all sorts of havoc in my reality. But when I get to the point that I can let this go in my readiness, when I'm ready, and I choose to surrender it, now it shifts. Now, we want to bring to mind an event or circumstance or a person that you interrelated with, which brought about within you the experience of suffering or pain. So bring that to mind. A situation, an event, something that happens, an interrelationship, how you were relating to someone, which brought about pain. It could even be an argument with a friend or a partner. And the need to be right was so strong that we weren't willing to move past it. And it caused all sorts of suffering. That's an example. That's one example. There are endless examples, but that's just one that comes to my mind. Examine this experience and notice how your mind was involved in the continuous replaying of your perceptions, often going over and over and over again within your mind. Replay, hit the replay button. It goes over and it goes over and it goes over. And we just sit and we stew in it. It goes over and it's over. And there's no resolve. We just become more and more angry or frustrated or fatigued because we're not experiencing the flow of love. We're not in the stream that's moving in its natural order. We're going against the order. We're going against the stream that's flowing downward and saying, no, I need to go upward. It has to be my way, is what we're doing in that circumstance. The mind holds tightly onto the energy, not allowing you to move on and let go, to move in the direction of love. When one has had enough, when we've had enough of the suffering and cries out for help, in that moment, a release occurs, a letting go, an opening for love to enter, and everything begins to move. Those are words in my practice and all the people I've worked with all these years. And whenever I hear the words, I'm done, I know that that's the point where now we turn and we start moving downstream. I'm done. I've had enough. Once we state those words, I'm done. Now we move in a different direction. Possibilities emerge and inspirations may appear. We start to see things that were not there before. There's possibilities that arrive in our life. There's doors that open. There's new ways of seeing someone. And there's a relationship that you may be in with someone and you spent so much time fighting against it that you didn't realize the beauty that was there. And then when you surrendered and stopped fighting against it, all of a sudden you see this person in a different light. They're no longer showing up in that which you have to fight against, but you begin to see the beauty and, oh my gosh, you didn't recognize it before. That's just an example. So I remember in my own experience, it was in business, and having an individual of which I was involved with that was a very difficult personality. And the individual had done certain things that were very upsetting. And I perceived them to be very upsetting and perceived that it was done against me. And I was so upset as to why this would take place when I had, in my mind, not contributed anything towards that action taken. And I remember going home from work that day, and I was so upset. And it's not like me to do that. I don't hold on to energies like that. And I remember saying, I don't know what's going on. This is not like me. Why can't I let this go? It's staying with me. It's staying with me. Why can't I let this go? Because the readiness, I wasn't ready. Although I thought I was, I needed to learn something from it. And in order to learn something on that particular night, it had to go on until 3 a.m. in the morning. I could not sleep. This is a problem. I'm usually somebody that when I put my head down on the pillow, that's it, I'm done. I'm gone. Spend the night traveling. I'm gone. But this night I couldn't fall asleep. So not being able to fall asleep was very frustrating. And then replaying over and over in my mind things that were said and things that were done with this particular individual. Until finally I cried out and I said, okay, God, help me to see clearly here. Why I didn't do that hours before, I wasn't in readiness. Is it that I don't have the knowledge? Oh, I have the knowledge. But I wasn't in readiness because we had the ego personality present. So I had to come to the realization of, oh my gosh, I'm going over and over and over and over with this. I simply need to surrender. I need to let it go. So I surrendered it. And in that moment, the energy shifted to such a degree, it was palpable. All of a sudden, the weight was lifted off me. Whew, and the energy shifted. I went into work the next day with a smile on my face, ready to greet whatever was going to occur, to find out that this particular individual had given in their 2-week notice. And I said, okay, resolve. It was a resolve. Our personalities were having difficulty with one another in a human form. But also the resolve was that I got to the point to learn the lesson that I needed to let go, to stay going downstream instead of trying to figure out a solution to how to get this person to respond to me in a kinder way, to how to make the environment workable. I was trying to come up with a solution and I wasn't able to because the energy of all that had gone on was the only thing that my mind was focusing on at that time. So the surrender brought about the release. So that's my example. So if you have anything going on within you at this time, ask yourself, are you ready to release? And then the release may begin when you open and choose to surrender. I choose to surrender and let this go. I choose to ask God, God, help me to see clearly. Take this from me, whatever it may be. Bring about what needs to occur here so that we have resolve. And then watch what happens. That's letting go. Let go means to release hold, to allow for movement of energy to flow naturally without control. Control is what we need to be aware of, our need to control. Without control, and just let everything flow in its natural course. Let the divine energy express as it is within its purpose. Let's do a simple exercise. Let's have some fun. Take a breath in. If you're listening, when you're listening, take a breath in and hold that breath and don't release it until I tell you to. Hold that breath. Hold. Release. Now, the longer you held the breath without being allowed to release, the stronger the desire to release grows. Until you finally let go, and then you can take your next breath. This is an example of life. The in-breath and the out-breath are to balance for experiencing calm and relaxed state in your mind and body. If we breathe in too much and then we let out without letting it flow into the lungs in a balanced state, we're breathing in and we're going to hyperventilate. We're going to cause troubles in our body system. So we want to breathe in and out in balance. In and out in balance. Let's play with the energy for a moment. Let's try something else, something fun. Let's shrug our shoulders up to our ears. And while our shoulders are up to our ears, take your fists and clench them as tightly as you can. And hold. Tight, 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 tight. And then release. And when we release, we feel that powerful release of energy. We feel how we were squeezing so tightly. And we know what we were doing. We did this exercise. But when we're holding on to thoughts and we're holding on to energy inside of us, we're crimping off the flow of love. We're not realizing what we're doing. We're not realizing how tightly we're holding on to something until we release it. And then we experience that powerful release of energy. We experience the freedom of the hold. We're no longer holding on. So we experience the energy when we are open, and when we are closed, we are crimping it off. So letting go is open, and holding onto is closed. Why is it so hard for some of us to let go? Why is letting go so hard? Letting go from a spiritual perspective refers to the act of releasing attachments. Number one, release attachment. When we're attached to something, it's serving us in some way of which we believe we need to be served in the moment. So we have a belief about it. We're holding on to it. We have desires, negative emotions we may be attached to, and the need for control. When we're feeling unsafe in our environment, we want to control it so that it can help us within our mind to believe that we have control. It involves surrendering to the flow of life, accepting what is and allowing things to unfold naturally without resistance. No resistance. I'm allowing it to flow. There are no buts or what ifs, but just allowing the flow. Letting go is a profound spiritual practice found in various religions and philosophies. Practice is the key word here. The practice of letting go requires conscious intention setting, opening to trust, having faith, and surrendering to the divine. Let's examine some key aspects that relate to all areas of our life. Detachment from materialism, the material world, from being attached to material possessions, wealth, worldly achievements, attachment to status, position, that which we believe gives us meaning in our lives. It involves recognizing the true fulfillment and happiness come from within rather than from external acquisitions. My happiness is not dependent upon my address, my home, how big it is, how beautiful it is. It's not dependent upon the cars I drive. It's not dependent upon my physical appearance. We assign meaning to these things. We become attached to them. But when we become attached to them, we have suffering that is part of the baggage. We suffer because we are continuously striving to maintain these material acquisitions. We're trying not to lose them. For we know within us innately that they are temporary. They are not permanent. All things in the material world are temporary. Our soul, our spirit, is that which is permanent. It's everlasting. But what we accumulate in life, what we acquire, that can bring us wonderful experiences, and we can certainly enjoy, but not to the point where we become attached and our energy is taken up with the actions to try to maintain these material items. So we surrender the attachment to them. This is a wonderful, I love this house, it's beautiful, but if it goes tomorrow, it goes, and I'll find someplace else to live. As my body ages, as we grow, as we get older, my body will appear all different sorts of ways. And I can choose to accept as the appearance grows and allow it to be, rather than trying to hold on to a youthful appearance, of which is not possible. We eventually have to let that go. When we allow it within our reality to be let go, as it is an ongoing evolution of the process of life, now we have made peace with it, and it no longer has a hold on us. We've let that part go. Another aspect is surrendering to the divine. Letting go involves surrendering to a higher power, recognition of a higher power, recognition that I don't control everything. We may have within our minds that which we'd like to see and that which we'd like to take action in doing, but we do not control anything. The more we try to control, the tighter it holds us, and the less free we become. The more we struggle, the more pain we'll experience. Releasing to the divine means acknowledging that there are aspects of life beyond our control. Trusting that a higher purpose is at work. Trusting that the presence of God, that which created us, is here with us in each and every moment, experiencing life through us, as us. Surrendering to, I am at the right place at the right time, experiencing all that is for me. Allowing it to take place. Observing, stepping back in life and observing all that's around us. Just observe. Observe what is taking place. And when you are able to do that, you can marvel at the beauty and the complexity that it appears to hold. But actually, it's simplicity in action. When we are able to release and surrender to the divine, we no longer need to control. We experience peace. Releasing negative emotions. In a spiritual context, letting go means releasing negative emotions such as anger, hate, jealousy, and fear. It involves forgiving ourselves and others. thus promoting inner peace and emotional healing. When we're doing that, we're ready, we're in readiness for that. It means we're open to a higher power. It means we understand that there is a presence in our life that is supporting us, that is meeting all of our needs, that we are safe enough to open up to, begin to release the need for control, to work on the emotions, to allow ourselves to let others experience what their choices are, free from jealousy, free from possessiveness, but just allowing another to experience what they choose, knowing that it is their right to choose, as it is our right to choose what is for us. And at this point, we're going to take a small station break, and we'll be back in just a moment. So hang in there with me. There's more to come. Thank you.
Are you looking for unbiased and uncensored paranormal and spiritual talk? At WLTKDB.com, we offer several talk shows ranging from self-care to hauntings and everything in between. Find the shows and hosts on our website at WLTKDB.com. You can watch them live or catch up on your latest favorites. While you're there, be sure to check out the store and pick up some of the latest station swag. Did you know we had a station blog, or that you can host your own show? It's all online at WLTKDB.com. Looking to advertise? Check out our competitive pricing and let's get you noticed. WLTK Talk Radio has something for everyone. So be sure to stop by and say hello at WLTKDB.com.
The next is releasing the need to control an outcome. It's called non-attachment, not being attached to an outcome, have things work out the way we say they must be. Releasing the need for things to happen in a certain way and having faith that life will unfold as it is designed to. There is a design always in operation. It's the divine design, the divine plan. Everything in our universe is precisely designed. There are no accidents. Everything is precisely orchestrated in such a magnificent way, it's beyond comprehension. And when we are able to experience it by allowing it to unfold in the moment, right where we are, as it's designed to, then we achieve within ourselves that sense of peace. And we're able to really experience the fullness of life, aligned with our true nature. And that is joy-filled. Acceptance of impermanence. Accepting that all things are impermanent. All things in our reality. Nothing is permanent. The buildings that we construct all crumble eventually. Life moves on, it's ever forward moving. Nothing is permanent. All things. This is central to letting go from a spiritual perspective. It means accepting that everything in the material world is transient. And change is inherent part of our existence. Change is always taking place. That is our true nature. We look out at the natural world around us. We look at the changes that take place all of the time. It is the natural order. Next is freedom from ego. Letting go spiritually often entails transcending the ego, which is the part of us that seeks validation, recognition, and control. By releasing the grip of the ego, one can experience a deeper connection to their higher self and the interconnectedness of all life, to the oneness. So we let go and we are then able to experience the release of control. And the release of control brings about, as I said before, the possibilities that were not present before. Inspiration, all sorts of divine experiences. Release of past attachments. So this is releasing the past and not making the past that which defines us in the present. This involves freeing ourselves of the burdens of the past, such as regrets, guilt, unresolved emotions. It means embracing the present moment and being open to new possibilities. So when I'm looking to release the past, and if it's that which I'm allowing to define me in the present, to ask about readiness would be to say, am I ready? Do I really hold within me a belief that I can experience differently? A belief that there's more here to life. A belief that there are possibilities which exist that I haven't even come into my reality yet, haven't even come into my reality yet. Good evening, Leigh Warner. Nice to have you with us. Thank you for chiming in on the chat. If you have any questions, let me know. So it's a release of past attachments. As things come up inside of it, we experience memories of the past and the feelings associated with those memories. And then we can ask ourselves, am I ready to move on from this? Is it time for me to come to terms with this and to release it so that it can transmute and transform into something which serves me now? Can I look at something from the past, something that's happened that I've been holding on to that's been very hurtful to me, to my being, to my well-being? And can I look at it from the perspective of there's a gift wrapped here that I haven't yet unwrapped? For everything holds a gift. Everything that we experience in life, there's a gift. This gift that I haven't unwrapped, meaning have I availed myself to what is actually here? The gift is that which benefits my soul's growth. Am I available? Am I ready for opening up to receive this lesson in this way so that I can grow as a soul? Can I see things differently? Am I ready to reach the point of forgiveness? Meaning I may not understand why something happened, why someone committed an action of which they did or said what they did or whatever it may be. And I may not need to go to that where I say that I forgive that action. But can I come to a point and realize that that's a divine being that was not in their right mind, not connecting, meaning that they're not connected in the field of love. They're very much in the field of fear, and they acted from fear. So I forgive that it was an act from fear, and I'm willing to release it and bring love into this situation and allow love to transform it. That is soul growth. So if I can do that as something comes up from my past, if I can embrace it in a whole new way, Bible say, you no longer get to hold me back. I'm not allowing this. I want to move forward. I want more love in my life. I want to experience life, the beauty of it. I want something new, meaning I have to let go of the old that I've been carrying forth. Then I'm going to let you go here and now. And we can do that through prayer. We can ask for assistance in releasing it, or we can, within our mind, see it differently. We can see whatever it was that we're holding, we could bring it to mind, but only change its form, change it. It's like a scene in a movie. We play up to that scene, then we rewind the scene, and we create a new scene over it. So now we've got the new scene that we see, and we focus our energy and attention on that, and then we move forward from there. That's one way to release attachments to the past. Trust and faith. Letting go requires trust and faith in the divine order of things. It means having confidence that life has a greater purpose and that everything is unfolding as it should be, even when we don't fully understand it at the moment. It means that I open to that I am a child of the divine, that I am a child of God, and that the presence is within me, always guiding me, always here with me. And when I open up to that, it's the stream flowing in its natural order. It's the love presence that's flowing always in its natural order. I'll experience that love. I'll experience that grace. I'll experience that connection. I'll be more in tune. I'll just know what it is that I'm to do in right timing without having to control things, without having to make them happen, without putting the pressure on and crimping myself off from that love by being in a state of fear, feeling that I am the one responsible for control. I've got to make things happen. I've got to keep myself safe. I've got to do everything that I do. I do. When we learn that we do nothing, that which is operating in us, through us, as us, does everything. That's embracing the trust and the faith. Embracing gratitude, letting go, is not about denying desires or aspirations, but rather cultivating gratitude for what we have while remaining open to life's flow. Gratitude allows us to focus on abundance rather than lack. I am grateful for. I am grateful for is opening. I'm open, not complaining, not the lack of, let me tell you what I don't have. Let me tell you what I need to do. I need to make this happen because it's not happening and I need it to happen. And gratitude for life that we're present here, that the presence is within us, that we get to experience anew in each and every moment, that we get to evolve, that we're here having an experience, a human experience. We're spirit having a human experience. We're experiencing together. We're interrelating with endless possibilities and probabilities. We get to dance with one another in unique ways. We get to have fun. We get to experience joy. And how wonderful that is. Be in gratitude for that. And as we are in gratitude for that, gratitude opens up, allows that love to flow. That love is a higher vibration, the higher frequency experience, the higher experiencing of the energies in our reality. And things come into our world that were passing us by before because we were not in resonance. And then finally, living in the now. A crucial aspect of letting go is being fully present in the now. It means releasing worries about the future and regrets about the past, allowing us to experience the richness of the present moment. I'm here right now. What can I do with what's here right now? What is here right now? Right here, right now is love. The presence of love is here. And I open up to feel that. Even if I'm not experiencing that yet in my world, even if I'm at a place that is in deep entrenched in fear, I could say that's what my experience is. But the presence of love is within me. And if I can just open just a little bit to the possibility of experiencing something other than what I'm experiencing, now I'm beginning to open, I'm beginning to shift, I'm beginning to move in the direction of. And then I start to experience more and more of that energy as it is drawn into my experience by my calling it forth through the opening. And then we begin to live from a different perspective. Why practice letting go? By practicing letting go from a spiritual perspective, you can attain greater inner peace, contentment, and alignment with your higher self and the divine presence. It is a profound journey of self-discovery. We must choose it, though. We must choose to let go. We must choose by recognizing that we are holding ourselves back. We're holding ourselves back from experiencing the fullness of life, the fullness of the love which is here for us. When we're believing that it's not present, when we're believing that we must control, that we must do, we must make things happen. When we can choose to allow, to open, to experience the letting go of the need to control. Let me just take this day or this moment right here, right now, within my mind. Let me just open up to the possibility of I just step back and observe life. And I put out in my mind experiencing life of which feels good to me. Just the feeling good of it. Not how it needs to be, how it needs to look, but it feels good. And just connect with that. And as I connect with that and experience that feeling, say, okay, now I'm going to set an intention to grow this feeling as my day moves forward by allowing the divine presence that is within me, that created me, to take the reins, to move me forward in the natural flow and order of life. Without trying to control it, I allow it to move forward. As everything is perfectly orchestrated in its divine timing. So if I'm coming to this information and I'm struggling with things that I'm holding within me, know that you were brought to this information so that you can see there are options and you can then reevaluate where you are and say, am I ready? Am I willing to move forward? Am I willing to take the steps to practice what is required to let go? Am I willing to open up to faith? Am I willing to trust? Am I willing to believe in a higher power? Am I willing to allow myself to just be and just let myself be carried in the flow? When I choose, I am in the flow of life and I let it just carry me in the natural order. We are solution-orientated beings. by nature. We know deep within us, in the core of our being, that a solution to all perceived problems or differences, whatever they may be, that exist in our experience. We know there's a solution. We're certain of it. That's why we're always striving through control to make something happen, because we're believing that that is the solution. We know there's a solution. It's within us all at our core. We just forgot the answer is love. Love is the solution. Love heals all. Love is what we are in truth. And when we open and we release resistance, we allow ourselves to experience our true nature through the practice of learning to let go, through the practice of intentionality, living with intention, setting an intention to join with the divine in each and every moment, realizing that the divine is that which is co-creating with us here, allowing us to experience life through our choices, but ever guiding us in the direction of love. And when we open to love, we experience a whole different life. We experience a life of which is joy-filled, of which is peaceful, of which is filled with immense beauty. And we get to join in oneness. Thank you for being with me this night on this podcast. And may you open to allow yourself to let go of whatever it is you may be holding. Thank you again. Good night.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.